This is Katie Oshiwanita with Harmonizing Journey to Realignment, seminar and sessions, but currently focusing on sessions. Seminars are kind of to the side for a bit. Anyway, it's good to see y'all. It's been a while since I've connected, I know. Just a lot going on. Enjoyed this summer, now enjoying the really nice weather. It's cooled off a bit, getting stuff in the garden, that kind of thing, working more on my house, stuff like that. Anyway, the topic is the Hierophant and HJR Insight. And I started out looking to just write on about the Hierophant code. One of my groups that I'm involved with was talking about it, and it just got me inspired. But when I started writing about it, it kind of took me down an interesting rabbit hole. And I hope you guys gained something from it. I know I did. And yeah, as usual, take what you like and leave the rest, right? Okay. So in Keylontic Science, a Hierophant is a conscious, aware geomancy Keylon coded fire letter of light, sound, and one. Always the Trinity, right? These standing waves of intention lay dormant like a seed within the initiate's DNA until the initiate's breath sings the codes into being. When the initiate's fire letter DNA comes fully activated, they then become an adept. The adept, and okay, we're talking at this point really big beings, the adept becomes the fire letter code of the Hierophant to activate other initiates in the creation process. These adepts evolve through cycles into collectives that eventually group into soul groups. These collective group soul adepts sing their geomancy fire letter codes into a morphinogenic sphere grid core to harmonize, for example, could be an apple or a planet. The life on these planets is a reflection of these Hierophant designs. These collective adepts, also known as rishis, were later known as, that we know of now today, speakers. Initially, there were one big being who embodied the trinity, again, of light, sound, un, one, or male, female, and then just the one, or the all oneness. These beings were giants and responsible for different universes. This is kind of me sort of putting it all together. I mean, this is not new information, just me digesting it and kind of having it just a little bit different way of talking about it. These beings initiated flame holders throughout their time matrices. The flame holder initiates eventually became adept speakers of their own planets. As these beings, so we kind of went from universes, then focusing more as we divided to planets. As these beings were an integral part of their planetary structure, the planet grew with them and they with the planet, right? The biofeed interface system. I didn't make up. These collectives created their time matrix birthed into being within each density domain of a time matrix. Fractaling, aka descending, finally, bit by bit, down, 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 more solidified, finally into the carbon-based harmonic universe one expression we are here now on the earth plane. These crystallized denser speakers became divided into three beings 3 different individuals of the trinity of light, sound, un, one, who initiated then flame holder adepts to be positioned around the planetary body, coinciding with the Earth's organic dimensional Stargate portal system. We know one example of the flame holders adepts as the current angelic human 12 tribe race here on Earth. Not to be confused with the 12 tribes of the Israelites, something different. They're part of another story that I'm not going to discuss today. Each angelic human tribe holds the Hierophant code for a Stargate, a DNA strand, and much, much more that if you want to get into Keylontic Science more in depth, you can do. Some of these Hierophant codes evolved as their proteges grew and evolved on the leading edge of creation. They explored different combinations of codes, exploring new possibilities. Some of these possibilities further developed the collectives, aka the all that is, God Source First Eternal. Some digressed the collectives, causing divergent timelines to occur, eventually creating what we've heard of as the eighth sphere, or from Keylontic Science terminology, phantom Earth in our solar system. Other solar systems have their own wording. All right, Lucifer, Ahriman, and Archangel Michael. There are examples of Hierophant coded impulses that lived their cycles, so they lived out their cycle. Everything's got a time and place, lived out their cycles, but continued to live on through the divergent timeline souls who have been unable to cycle to the next level of progression. At some level, their template became part of the eighth sphere, aka phantom Earth. These impulses energy is, according, and this is to Steiner, part of a different time cycle when Earth humans were a different evolutionary stage, therefore received these impulses of energy suited to them for the particular growth needed. Obtaining the impulse at this time out of the sequence can cause regression over time in a person's development. Okay? Now, A'ya Earth is an example of our highest potential for our planet's original divine blueprint. This, as a being, is a very large collective of hierophants codes. This being is massive and embodies many other geomancy coded beings, upon which our net Earth, median Earth, and hibernation zones are but a whisper. In other words, really not much to those, even though we can create a new Earth with every breath we sing out, because we are those geomancy codes in essence. As far as I can figure, okay, the Hierophant coded impulse Ahriman was designed to create time matrices. And again, the term Ahriman is not the organic term, it's just Steiner had picked in history a particular time when that being was embodied, basically expressed itself strongly. That impulse expressed itself strongly as a being. And that is why the peacock is connected to this entity. The peacock is a rudimentary symbol code or Hierophant code for multidimensionality here. This entity, cold and calculating, divides life into its smallest units to preserve it. The eighth sphere, or phantom earth, is its creation, current creation. This impulse only knows what it is designed to do. Not a creator God, it's an impulse that we as source, the all that is, utilize. Okay, not saying, I just realized it's not saying it's a creator, okay? It just is a symbol coded hierophant being, right, that we just defined above, that can be used for that purpose. Okay. As we choose to become more solid, right, densified through Ahriman's impulse, a part of our templates fell into a denser time matrix for the experience of it. Okay. So we come into the division of the Elohim. According to come out of my mouth. According to Ieshiana Dean Arias now of the Voyager series. And by the way, I just to me she's Iesha. And she used to be Ashiana Hayes and Dean. She's changed her name a few different times. It's now Ieshiana Arias. But if I just say that, nobody's going to know who she is. So Dean, I put the Dean in there. She's the writer of the Voyager series. Okay. According to Aisha, we are on our third seeding here on Harmonic 1 Earth. Steiner actually refers to the two previous ones, and I'm of course basing it on what they are. But he does reference them, but not a lot of information to them, which makes sense. We're predominantly in this discussion looking at seeding 3, okay, of the human race, angelic human race. We had fallen, and she also references, that we had fallen backwards in time from our original harmonic universe to Terra reality a very long time ago, and then seeded back, and this is the third seeding here of falling backwards. Again, Voyager series, excellent for that detail. Okay, there seems to be this desire in the human genome, okay, to experience solidity, the desire to break things down and analyze. And actually also kind of being very visceral and animalistic. Not that there's anything wrong with it, just it's great to experience, but we don't want to stay there. Oopsie doos, I just realized I didn't mute my phone. That's not smart. Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong, okay, in and of itself, in its own time and space. We have, at this point, deeply explored what has become the eighth sphere, aka Phantom Earth, during this I'm going to say predominantly during this third seeding. We all now have a choice to make, right? In the early part of this time matrix, there was a natural division, okay, between one in particular that is really kind of more in depth discussed in the Voyagers series, is the division of, and again, kind of, I think it was, in Voyagers, it isn't really referenced as being natural, but I'm going to say they're actually, this is my intuition and kind of basing too also on Steiner's work, there was this kind of natural division between one creator collective called the Elohim. The Elohai founder race stayed as the ethers of the upward Krystic Hierophant coded template of the firmament. The Anu Elohim split off as the Jehovah Elohim Arimonic impulse to descend into dimensionality. Okay, I'm going to say that initially started out as something natural. Only what has ended up happening has been a de-evolution of the angelic human of the harmonic universe 1 earth plane into the evolution of the phantom earth sphere. The de-evolution created net earth. So we have more of the 8th sphere or phantom earth. We have the actual organic harmonic universe 1. And I just feel there's this meeting point between the two that we're in the middle of right now, particularly during the stellar activation cycle of what has been referenced as net earth, sort of energetic net, tube torus structure. The Fibonacci spiral structure is part of it. Got basically taken off the organic crystal spiral of harmonic universe 1 and are wrapped up in this net. So when as seers we look under the microscope, what we see is the artificial net earth part of the eighth sphere phantom earth reversal program. Okay, more of it where our Arimonic has been continuously creating division. Okay. Alrighty. Mainly because those unable to maintain their connection with their Krystic blueprint evolution, the organic earth plane evolution, digressed. And we are, no matter if we're running Krystic or anti-Krystic, we are still who we are. We are the Hierophants. We are Keylon coded, in-breath, out-breath, all that is beings, continuously creating. Okay? So, those, and we're huge, so we're talking really just kind of little parts of ourself, okay? But we're still, as an organic being, complete and full, is the all that is. But, portions of ourself, unable to maintain their connection with their Krystic blueprint evolution, digressed. Okay. Some chose to digress with their loved, and then there were some that chose to digress with their loved ones as part of their templates, again, followed into Phantom Earth. They all became known as the lost ones, but never forgotten. Okay, which is why we are still doing what we're doing in the mission that we're involved with. Okay, with the fail-safe and just a number of other things that we've been doing for quite a while. The Anunnaki, okay, are an example of this fallen Anu Elohim lineage. Okay, this divergent Hierophant collective includes, and we're just like minimum, just for this discussion, Lucifer, Jehovah, and Satan, okay, or Ahriman. Examples of human hybrid Illuminati lineages connected to these quote-unquote fallen or descending or divergent collectives are, for example, Marduk, Enlil, and we do have a Pleiadian Sanchez. I think there's a few other Pleiadians that have been compromised, but there's also Pleiadians that are not compromised. So you really have to tune in and feel it out for yourself in regards to Pleiadians. Okay. Okay. Literally, just to name a few. Okay. Again, further examples of divergent. Oh, and yeah, a further example for sure that G.G. Young discusses quite a bit of a divergent human timeline is the Zetas. Okay, believe it or not, there was apparently a point in history they were actually humans and they diverged off and ended up becoming in their own probable timeline world, divergent world, much more dense, heavy, reversed, sick. In my opinion, sick. Okay. And also, which GD doesn't really discuss too much. It always seems like, except for Aisha, most people kind of focus on one and sort of the exclusion of some of the other groups. But anyway, another example, great example, is the Draconian, the lizard, Draco. Yeah. They're part of the Seraphim founder races originally, before they diverged off. And they're Draco-human hybrids of Phantom Earth, or 8th sphere, aka currently our royal family, correlate to the again to the second Rishi Hierophant collective, the Seraphim. Okay, gold order. Okay, everything has an organic root. Nothing can be created from the reversals. They can only mimic and utilize what was already organic and twist it particular ways to their use. Okay, these fallen angelics of Phantom Earth, or 8th sphere, chose, according to, again, okay, G.G. Young, and actually also as well Ashiana in her own way, the inorganic AI path, okay, evolving into a completely different star system. Again, a divergent timeline. And I'm not talking about the AI that's basically machine AI. I'm talking about the actual conscious, aware AI that is it's something completely different. Okay? Yeah, the inorganic AI path evolving into a completely different star system. They are dying out. They have to be. They're not organic. They have to feed off other life to sustain. And they've chosen to come back in time via the Titius Modius time wave to regain some of what they lost in their DNA and whatever else they can scrap. Okay, that's what their purpose is. All the treaties and agreements and stuff that Eisenhower and all that. Not that I know Eisenhower did not do it. I know he didn't do it. But the people, usually presidents, I hate to say this, we just think, oh, our president, he's a puppet. Let's just not front. Puppets. Puppet, something else. Okay. All right. Okay, right now, I know, off on a divergent line of thought. Okay, right now, thanks in significant part to the Earth Alliance and to all those that choose the Kryst, the fallen beings still choosing, okay, anti-Krystic reality are running scared. Those making new choices are manifesting their own salvation to embody their organic Krystic expression of being to rise once again out of the ashes. Okay? There is a season to everything. Okay? The Luciferic Elohim impulse actually, according to Steiner, this is where I finally bring in a little bit of Archangel Michael, was actually, he had a time back during Lemurian age, from what I understand, and I think he ended up being a person, 5th century AD, 3rd or 5th century AD. Again, Steiner gets into that in more detail. So he went through his full cycle. Okay, that was that was Lucifer. I can't remember when Archangel Michael, but he came in during that time. There's a particular point where he actually kind of ended his cycle, but people are still trying to utilize his energies and pulling them in. So, again, Archangel Michael was assigned by the Elohim to counteract, to stream in and counteract the more Arimonic impulses to be solidified and animalistic, right? They were finding at the time that the Lemurians that were digressing were expressing themselves in more animalistic, lower chakra programs. Just a certain portion. And they were realizing, oops, if this continues, the whole human thing might go down. Again, we're referencing the third seeding. Only this impulse came during the Lemurian epoch, before the third seeding human could actually effectively work with it. So it was put in it too early, trying to counter some issues that were coming up. Again, the third seeding was kind of a pretty mosh-posh if you read the Voyagers book, which is what we are. But according to Steiner, counter forces were causing the humans to digress even worse without the light bearer forces bringing the human out of mindlessly digressing into animalistic, materialistic being. So again, it's, Lucifer served a purpose, all right? In other words, I think there's kind of a point where we could say, for those that are Keylontic Science followers, that, again, everything has an organic root. There was an organic root to even the Luciferian Anunnakis, okay, lineage. These soul groups tied by blood, okay, so just in general, talking about the third seeding Lemurians, okay. These soul groups tied by blood worked as a cohesive force but could not act individually. This is kind of what I come to understand through Steiner and G.G. Young, and I'm going to say that rings true, particularly for the third seeding. I would say the first two seedings, that's not true. The Luciferic light bearer streamed in the sun I am individual essence to integrate into the planetary sphere as individuals instead of just one collective Arimonic tribe unit, okay? To be both the collective and the I, okay? Or I am. The freedom spirit, as I've talked about before, again, this is a Steiner term, by the way, not mine, but I love it. I'm going to take it. It's freedom spirits was initiated. There needed to now be a balancing force, particularly since that Luciferic energy impulse came in too soon. So it just wasn't quite working as designed, but as it needed to. And Voyagers gets more into depth as to some of the issues that occurred on the planet. The original angelic human Krystic divine blueprint, aka Kryst, Christ, impulse for this digressive third seeding needed to come in. But, okay, that's the balancing force. But first, the Luciferic impulse had to finish its natural cycle of bringing the soul into the light of spirit, kind of more, okay, instead of, then the Arimonic counter impulse naturally cycled in, okay, these are things, just systems, programs running, cycled in to get, remember I'm saying the Arimonic organically is organic. There's an organic root to it. It's fucked up, but there's an organic root to it, okay. The Arimonic counter impulse naturally cycled in to get the souls, there's going up, you want it to balance it back down, out. But they're at odds with each other, okay? To get the souls back to the Earth evolution again. Kind of in the middle, kind of where I think Lucifer quite hadn't finished his cycle. Arimonic is still now running his own new cycle. The Krystic, let's see. Yeah, in the middle of these two counter-rotating cycles, the Krystic balancing impulse birthed into the planet as we know of, Jeshua, or aka Jesus. This being infused mankind with the ability to connect with its divine Krystic blueprint. Because there actually was kind of more Krystic teachings before that, always been Krystic teachings at some level on the planet, but actually running that stream of consciousness back into the angelic human for the third seeding. Okay. Okay, so yeah, ability to connect with its divine Krystic blueprint. Once again, the ability to hold at bay, again, the forces, because there's a thing a sculpture that Steiner did. Oh no, it's this and this. So yeah, so the divine Krystic blueprint. Once again, the ability to hold at bay the forces of pushing us down. Okay, or I guess it'd be like that then. It'd have to be like that, pushing us down into the dimensionality of Ahriman. So kind of keeping him at bay, and then keeping that kind of, yeah, keeping us not going too far out with the Luciferic. Okay. Okay, yeah. The frantically upward with no direction into the vastness of spirit, the Luciferic. So yeah, we want to kind of keep the balance. I can't remember if it was like this or like this. Keeping the balance. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, guys. In summary, and we are our choices. Okay. This is a critical time in our evolution as the divergent Luciferic and Arimonic phantom Earth forces play out their last hurrah through AI technology. Some will plunge back down into the depths of the 8th sphere of phantom Earth. That's just going to happen. And many others will rise up as the freedom spirits. Which path do you feel you are guided on? Okay. Are you part of the New Age movement, working closely with Archangel Michael, finding much good? There is a lot of good. Again, he's organic, a lot of organics to him. But also seem to be caught up, that I have noticed this with that entity. Kind of a bipolar life of good and evil, or good versus evil, constantly fighting that unknown enemy with his sword, right? With his sword. Okay. All right. Or, and again, you know, hey, at a time, we needed that energy. At a time when we were developmentally where we kind of needed to utilize that energy. We're different now. We use energies differently than we did then. Okay. Or are you following the Luciferic path, living out fantasies that never seem to... Okay. Hi, everybody, again. My tablet decided to go off, so I had to fix some things with it. I figured I could do what I've done sometimes, where I just sort of pretended like nothing happened, and everybody knows that something happened. So that's what happened. So we were at looking at, okay, or are you following the Luciferic path, living out fantasies that never amount to anything, right? Nothing real or stable. Oh God, I could mouth off. I've mouthed off on some other things with that. But anyway, so yeah. Or, okay, is science your religion? Okay, and the soul just a secondary thought, if at all, which would of course be Arimonic. Okay. We all live, okay, some version of these in our daily life because, right, these impulses live in the blood, live in our blood of our ancestral lineages, okay? But, okay, we can balance these impulses, these forces, by connecting with the genuine Kryst impulse of the divine template of our own inner being as the all it is, God's source, first eternal Ah-yah A'ya. Okay? We can choose, okay? Once again, Abre done to live from our eternal, internal, okay, Krystic core of our being. And you can explore what that is for you, for your individuated template, okay? Just be careful with Christianity. It can be a bit dogmatic, which is very Arimonic energies, okay? All right. Or most Christian religions, I should say. All right. Ashiana or Iesha Dean, aka Reyes, is my reference for Keylontic Science, or Keylonta, the science of light, sound, one, base codes of matter, Hierophant codes, mechanics of manifestation, and much of the history via her Voyager's book and some other material that she has. Templar Stewardship Initiative is actually another really good book of hers. She also talks in depth about the fallen angelics. So if you want to get more information on that, although I also have that fairly recent post that I did on the Guardian Alliance, a HJR Insight. That post actually kind of goes over some of it, not a lot, but a little bit. But again, the Voyagers, Sleeping Abductee, I think it was book 1, and Voyagers 2, this something Minty. Sorry, that's Minty's in there. Yeah. I also, of course, referenced and intertwined the Rudolf Steiner of anthroposophy and Gigi Young, a student of Rudolf Steiner, that actually brings a lot of his information into modern times, because Rudolf Steiner is the turn of the century. And considering his time, I was pretty awake and aware and able. Anyway, and of course, along with my own intuitions, kind of guidance, and just my inner being coming out, to kind of flesh out kind of a bigger picture of, what I feel who we are is the all that is, God's source, first eternal, Ah-yah A'ya is. Thank you guys so much. Much love and peace. And also, you can, if you'd like, and I gave the links to on there's the links in my blog post, as well as, I can probably get those in YouTube as well, to the links to Ray's Productions and Rudolf Steiner and Gigi Young. I definitely think they're well worth your time and energy to explore. And also, if you would like to learn more about what I do, Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Sessions, please check out the link below for that. And also, if you haven't become a member, please subscribe, please like and subscribe to either or both my YouTube channel, and if you're getting this from my Harmonizing Journey blog, please become subscribed to that. There's a link down there. Well, there's a link if you've got it that way. I can't do it as easily with YouTube putting that link in, but you can definitely, if you check out the sessions, my Harmonizing Journey to Realignment sessions, there's also a link for becoming a member of the blog as well. Okay, I think that's it. Again, on the HJR Navigator, helping others to connect with their multidimensional clan family. Much love and peace. Till we meet again. Thank you. Bye.